Hello everyone, today we have an interesting development from the tournament side of things that has pushed a deck that has seen very little play in general, kind of up into the front line where it is performing pretty well, pretty consistently, and whenever we get to it, it's going to make a lot of sense. So I'm going to start with the Pocket Legends League. So last week I covered an exciting update to the Charizard Moltres line that added in the Growlithe and the Arcanine, which performed insanely well. And so with that, in this week's Pocket Legends League, we saw an uptick of that up to 11% of the meta. And with that, we saw a little bit of a drop off of Pikachu. So it's down to around like 13%, where at one point it was like 25 or more percent of the overall share of any given tournament. Now in this one, the deck that we covered last week actually ended up winning, the Charizard Arcanine Moltres deck. It ended up taking the whole thing. The final top two was that deck. And so now fast forward to the biggest tournament, which is Ursiday's Pocket Weekly Tournament. We have a couple of cool developments. In the metagame, we still see a large share of Charizard Arcanine. We see an even larger share of Mewtwo Gardevoir. And then the share of Pikachu decks is down to about 15% or so. And so that leaves some interesting room for a few other decks. And so you'll see that with this large tournament, a lot of the strong decks are showing low win rate because of how many people are running them. Well, with an increase in fire-type Pokemon or fire-type decks and a reduction in Pikachu, that leaves room for some water-type decks to really come out and shine. And so the one that we are looking at today is an Articuno Greninja line. So being able to have Articuno in the back line to do some overall board damage, along with a Greninja continuing to chip away, we're doing 30 damage to a backline Pokemon every single turn, which can be so detrimental. You can find a lot of flexible ways to knock out the opponent's Pokemon. And so the one that we're looking at is Obamna, which is currently one of the two competitors to have a perfect record. The first one is the Charizard Arcanine deck, which is a big surprise. And then the second one is the Greninja Articuno line. Now, I am a sucker for any kind of Greninja deck. I love the idea of the Greninja card, and being able to pair that with Articuno, we knew that it naturally went well, but to see it start performing well in the tournament side of things is really exciting. This one is taking away the cheesy fast break style of Starmie EX and adding in just that overall board damage through the Articuno EX and the Greninja line. And so overall, the deck runs very well. It can struggle into Pikachu if you don't get a good start early, but the reason that this can kind of stand is that we're seeing a little bit less Pikachu overall. And so if this goes into Mewtwo, if this goes into the Charizard Arcanine Moltres deck, it has the typing advantage, and it can find some sneaky ways to really pump out a lot of damage early and then knock out the opponent before they have a chance to ramp up into their Charizard line. And so Ursiday's tournament is not complete yet. It still has the top cut where they're playing to win, single elimination. I'm going to be keeping my eye on this deck, and I think it shows a lot of promise with how many fire type decks made it to the top cut. I think this one stands a chance to go really deep into maybe top 4. Maybe they win the entire thing. I'm going to keep my eye on Obamna, and I'll update you in the comment section down below as we get some updates on this tournament. But overall, the list feels really good. You always want to start Articuno EX. The regular Articuno can serve as that kind of body blocker, that just big tanky body that has one of the lowest retreat costs for how high HP it has. It is a 1 energy retreat cost for 100 base damage. If you're doing something like a Kangaskhan, that is a 3 energy retreat cost. If you do something, like Snorlax, Chansey, those are super expensive to pull back. And then we have a 100 damage body blocker that is a 1 energy retreat. And if you do end up ramping it up, sometimes it's going to give you that perfect stall that you need to be able to find a way to win those games. With the paralysis from regular Articuno, if you are able to have it online and attacking, it can be so detrimental to the opponent whenever you hit that paralysis that it can just change the course or the outcome of that entire game from that one single attack. We're going to go ahead and jump over into a couple of games. Thank you guys, as always, for being here. The support on the last few videos has been phenomenal. Thank you guys for the continued support and just interacting with the video with a thumbs up, thumbs down, a comment that helps the algorithm place it where it needs to be. We're going to go ahead and jump over into a couple of games. Thank you guys, as always. I hope you guys enjoy. All right, we are going first. Let's go ahead and go with the Articuno EX in the front line. We have Froakie. Unfortunately, we don't have any of the evolution lines for it yet. Ooh, we may be going against someone else that was inspired by the most recent tournament, and this deck in particular within it, because they start off with a Froakie. It seems like they didn't have a great starting line, but they can always have an X speed, pull the Froakie in, have Articuno, which if it's up and online quick, is just so much pressure against the opponent. They do have the Articuno EX. I assume the energy goes onto, ooh, the enemy Misty is hopefully a friend of ours, and fails them. Beautiful. You hate to see it whenever you're running the Misty, but you love to see it as the opponent. They do attach onto the backline Articuno. Let's see if they keep the Froakie or if they are able to pull him in. No, okay. So let's go with the unfortunate Professor's Research. I would rather have like a Misty and potentially get up and online, but the Greninja is great. Now we just need a Frogadier to evolve the Froakie here. The Water Energy, and I guess if it has to be one or none, I'd take the Professor's Research because we dig deeper into our deck. And so they go with the Sabrina line on us. I'm gonna throw out the Froakie. Now they could potentially have tricked us if they get another. No, they couldn't do another Misty here, and they're not gonna be able to knock out the Froakie here. They do get him lower, so then they could, maybe chip away at him with Greninja with the Blizzard attack. But we do have an X speed to be able to pull him back into safety. And the Frogadier evolution. Oh my goodness! All they need to find is the Greninja, and we would be in some trouble. We get the Frogadier, which is beautiful to see. Let's go Frogadier evolution. Let's attach the Water Energy. Go ahead and throw the X speed. Pull the Frogadier back here into safety. And we have the Professor's Research we can still use as well. So let's see. Okay, the Articuno for the back line. I don't know that we throw him. We do have another Frogadier, so if we find another Froakie, we have that evolution. So now, let's go ahead and hit him with an Ice Wing. Next turn, we'll be able to do 20 plus the 80. So if they don't heal, we can knock out the Articuno next turn. And I don't think they're going to be running a potion. A lot of times this deck is more focused on like the chip damage it can do. The Greninja evolution is huge. That's going to bring our Frogadier down to 10. Super scary. The Water Shuriken, I know that it's a pinpoint missile onto that Frogadier back there. Let's be fortunate that we have the Greninja evolution. I think you're going to probably see a lot of this deck over the next couple of days. And for one, I love the Greninja line. And so I'm always looking for a viable way to use the Greninja. And this feels like one of the most viable ways to do that. We do get Froakie here. So Froakie next turn into Frogadier. We only have 5 cards left in our deck. Let's build up the Articuno. And we do get the concede. They started just a small amount slower than us, and so we were able to hold our own. Let's take it, jump over into the next one. We are going first, and we have the Misty, so could be bad news bears for the opponent. And they're going with a Nidoking line, which, don't let anybody lie to you. Right now, Nidoking is just not great. Nidoking, Nidoqueen, there is no good Nidoking Queen deck. Like, if he gets evolved, sometimes he can do some good output. Most of the time, it is just not great. Let's go with our regular... Ooh, we have the entire Greninja evolution line, too. So even if we don't get lucky with the Misty, we have a Froakie, a Frogadier, Greninja that's going to be up and online very, very early on in the fight. Let's go ahead and place both Froakies, let them know what they're dealing with. We have the Misty for the Articuno. Let's see. We got lucky last game with the flips. Ooh, I was going to say, so we probably don't this time. Oh my god. That is game over. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. It's awful. All right, so we are going second. It looks like we're going against a dark deck. Some dark energy. We have the one Articuno EX starting, which is one of our better starts. We see this super versatile Farfetch'd, which is one of those cards that can go in just about any slower deck that wants to ramp up and get some early kind of pressure. The only downside to Farfetch'd is, compared to like a Kangaskhan, is that he has quite a bit lower base health, so he starts getting knocked out a bit faster. But in general, really good flexible card. They have so many cards in hand now. They have the double Pokeball, ridiculous. They have the Professor's Research. They're down to 10 cards on turn 1, halfway through their entire deck. We're just hoping we draw a Froakie here. That's all we can hope for. Froakie, beautiful. We have the entire Greninja evolution line, so it's only a matter of time. Let's go ahead and attach onto the Articuno EX, and we're going to start getting kind of chipped away by the Farfetch'd. Now, the Arbok could be scary. The Wheezing Poison, obviously, always very, very scary. Let's see what we can make happen. The full Wheezing evolution. Let's see if they have an X speed as well. No, okay. Thank goodness. If they had an X speed, they'd be able to poison plus the 30 damage. And super fast start. There wouldn't be a whole lot we could do against it. Let's go Frogadier. Let's go Articuno EX. And we'll hit them with an Ice Wing. And so now we're just going to look to evolve into the Greninja. We could do Sabrina at a certain point. So if they have Wheezing up front and we can't quite handle the Wheezing, maybe we send it to the back line. But we only want to do that once we can start knocking out their Pokemon pretty consistently. Okay, so the retreat for the Wheezing should be fine. We can knock out the Farfetch'd, but I don't know that we would want to. We could also just do 80 plus the 20 from Frogadier, or from Greninja, onto the Wheezing to bring it down to 10 left. But then they'd be really in a really good spot for a Koga, right? And they hit us with a Sabrina, but their Wheezing's not going to one-hit KO the Frogadier. And we have an X speed, so good news there. That we're not going to lose any more health on the Articuno EX. Articuno EX, even though it has 100 health, is sometimes one of those that you just need to kind of take face on. And just like be able to chip down so that you take it out faster. We have the regular Articuno coming down. Let's go ahead and go with an X speed. We're going to pull in the Frogadier. Evolve into Greninja. Go ahead and stage the regular Articuno. That way if they have another Sabrina, at least we have just not Greninja in the back line. Let's go ahead and go Water Shuriken. I'm going to do it onto Ekans here in the back line. And then let's go ahead and hit him with a Blizzard. We're going to start chipping away at all of their Pokemon. If they have a Koga, the reason I didn't do Water Shuriken onto the Wheezing is if they have a Koga, that extra 20 is just lost. But on the Ekans, or when it evolves into the Arbok, it's fine. That damage is going to stick. So let's see what they have here. If they do Koga, but they don't put something bigger down, or I guess they could evolve this one into Wheezing, yeah? Yeah. But we can knock, I think we can knock this one out since it already has some chip damage. We can knock this Wheezing out this turn. We go the 20 Shuriken plus the 80 Blizzard, and then we're going to put this one down, the Farfetch'd down in the back line as well. And then it all comes down to like the Arbok or the extra Wheezing or coughing line. Ooh, wait. The potion onto the Ekans is crazy. Do they have an Arbok? They haven't drawn it yet, but the potion there is crazy. When we were threatening knockout Wheezing damage, feels wild to me. Let's go ahead and place another Articuno. That's the one that I'm going to build up. Sometimes this one is good as like a backup measure, as a staller, but this one I think is, especially being able to like chip away at multiple Pokemon on the back line, I think is fine. Let's go ahead and go Blizzard. We're gonna knock out the Weezing, knock out the Farfetch'd, and we are down to one last token needed, which is the only downside to Farfetch'd. If the opponent has a way or the means to reach him once you retreat him out, very, very easy token for the opponent to grab. So the Ekans, they won't be able to attack with Arbok even if they evolve it, and so they are in for a world of trouble. We will take the win. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. All right, we're going second. We start with the Froakie, which we honestly never want to see. You never want to start with Froakie. They're going with a Water Jigglypuff stall deck. Could be a Dragonite. If so, I love the idea of Dragonite, but there's just not a consistent enough way to stall, in my opinion, to get the good value from him. We do get Articuno here, and let's go with the Professor's Research. See if we can find regular, maybe Articuno EX. We do get Frogadier. So we have the full Greninja evolution. I'm going to go ahead and X-Speed the Froakie out in favor of the Articuno. I guess we could have kept him on the front line, used the evolution to break the sleep, and then retreat him out. Could have been something that we do. They have a lot of cards, so we are also going to hit them with the red card. So now they're down a draw mechanic. So they're going to be down 2 cards, and it's less likely that they draw into Professor's Research to dig deeper into the deck. And so we should get a slight card advantage over them, I think. Let's see, they couldn't know. It is just a water stall deck, which these two feel like they don't really complement each other. They're kind of opposite ends of what you would want, because typically with Jigglypuff, you want to be building something up or building Jigglypuff into the Wigglytuff. With Starmie, you typically want to start Starmie into like the turn, first attack turn. We do stay asleep. Into the first attack turn being that like 90 damage output. All right, let's go Frogadier evolution. We wouldn't have been able to attack with this Articuno next turn anyway, so it's fine. Now, if they have Starmie plus, maybe it's Starmie into Staryu plus a Giovanni, could potentially be detrimental. Now, the question becomes, do we build up this Articuno, or do we build up the backline one? I'm going to hope for the best here. We're going to assume positive outcomes. I'm going to build up the frontline Articuno. And let's go ahead and see if we wake up one more time. We do not. Having the best slumber of our lives. So there's the Starmie EX. Let's see if they have the Giovanni Pokeball. So it's only one card that it could be. No, okay. So it's a double Starmie, double Jigglypuff deck, which feels weird. But, okay. So they are going to throw out the Starmie attack. We'll go down to 10 HP here. Oof. All right, we do have Greninja as well. And so let's see if we finally wake up. Thank goodness. We are awake. We can see it clearly now. Do we knock out one of those backline Pokemon? You know, I'm actually going to do Water Shuriken onto Starmie EX. We're going to throw that third energy, and we're hoping for a paralysis. That gives us one like kind of bypass turn. We're hoping for the paralysis. We've gotten all of our tails out of the way. We need a heads. I don't know if we needed it, but it helps out a lot because now Starmie can't retreat out. It's going to be very susceptible, and then I think with that, we probably just win. Being able to lock down that EX Pokemon into a really tough situation gives us a lot of benefit and a lot of strength. So the paralysis is now clear. We get a Misty. Let's go ahead and see if we get the Misty luck today. We don't need it here. We already are in a really strong positioning. We get a heads. 2, 3, 3 and 1. We did not need it to go that hard. but honestly, it's fine. I guess we just build up the Greninja now. We could retreat out, but we don't need to. Let's go Water Shuriken onto... I'm going to go onto this Jigglypuff, because I'm assuming if they get Wigglytuff, they evolve this one with the energy. That may be the wrong assumption, though. Let's go ahead and go with the Ice Beam. The Paralysis Flip isn't going to matter because it is going to be knocked out, but we do still get the Coin Flip, and we waste a Heads on it. Unfortunate. Let's see who they lead with. They could... honestly, the safest thing would be Articuno. No, I mean Starmie, not Articuno. Because it has a free retreat cost, so it's really no risk. But they're wanting to rely on the sleep, I suppose. So they're going to have to get very, very lucky with the sleep. And even still, we have the Greninja that's going to be kind of chipping away at that backline Jigglypuff as well. So the sleep, let's see if we wake up. We don't. Oh my goodness. This is a sleepy Articuno. Even still, no matter how long they sleep him for, I feel like we just evolve, or whenever he dies, we switch into the other Articuno, and I feel like we're good to go. Build up the backline Articuno just because, and maybe we chip away at the front line Jigglypuff, just because that's the one that's front and center, and then we'll end our sleepy turn. Let's see if we wake up. We don't. Okay, so they don't even need the Jigglypuff now. My goodness, I have I have the worst sleep luck. Let's see what they do here. They're out of cards in hand, so it's just the heart of the cards, whatever they top deck. They do get the Wigglytuff EX, and so they are going to be able to smack the 80 here. Bit unfortunate, but it's okay as well, maybe. Now, they can't one-hit KO our Articuno. So what we're going to do is throw out this one that's ready to attack. And we pivot again. We pivot again into the Jigglypuff. I guess we could do 80 plus 20 plus 20. And that'd be the 120 that we needed. Yeah. Let's go ahead and do that, I suppose. We can also pivot and start chipping away at the Jigglypuff. We can knock out the Jigglypuff next turn. But just in case they have the... maybe they draw Wigglytuff. And they evolve that backline one as well. I want to kind of focus on the one that would have to only be able to survive with a potion. And so let's go with this. Or I guess they could retreat it out. They could retreat the Jigglypuff, but then our Articuno wouldn't be asleep. And they're stalling, trying to find a way. And they just weren't able to get enough out. The Starmie line, I don't feel like it complements the Wigglytuff enough. You need something that is either like an elemental damage or a really, really big buildup, or something like poison with the wheezing. I don't think Starmie is the way to go. We do wake up from our slumber. You're not going to be able to lock us in. Let's go with just a regular attack, but we get the retreat. We'll take it.